Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to the Infinite Cup podcast. I am your host, Robert Breton. Now, this is the new format that I'm doing right here at the Infinite Cup. I'm going to post videos like this on YouTube. I'm also going to be releasing this as a podcast, all right? You get your chance to call in and ask me questions directly or just share your experiences. Now, we were all here to walk each other home, right? Like Ram Dass says, like everybody, we were on this path together. So I want to hear from you. We are all students. We are all teachers. I want to hear directly from you. Here's how it works. You're going to go on, whether you're following me on Instagram, right here on YouTube, TikTok, doesn't matter. I'm going to go on a live video and I'm going to post the Zoom call link. Therefore, you can get on the Zoom conference with me and ask me questions, and I'll be recording it live right here for the show. Now, I'm going to have a new topic. We can get down and dirty. We can talk about anything that comes up and just see where all this goes. You know, it's more of a exciting energy, more of a spontaneous thing rather than just reading anything that's scripted. All right, so I'm going to continue to have guests on as well, teachers, influencers, amazing people that I want to share with you. I just want to continue to do this as like the new style, and I want to hear from you. All right, so make sure you're following me on Instagram or on TikTok, right here on YouTube. That way you can get notified right when the Patreon page goes live, and the link for the Zoom call will be there. All right, I love each and every one of you. Today's episode is about taking back your power. You get a lot of questions about this, and we're going to dive right into it right now. All right, welcome. Let's see. All right, welcome. Yeah, Danny looks like Mushy. Mushy, are you there? Asking to... Okay, cool. Welcome everybody. Yeah, the theme that I just wanted to choose for today was taking back your power. You know, there's a big shift in energy right now happening on many levels, and a lot of the questions that I've been getting are all circulating back to claiming your power. And that's the third chakra, you know, this Kundalini energy, this activation that has come online in many people, and we're all awakening to this truth together. And I just want to, invite a few of you on to, share your experiences and just talk about that. So anybody, Danny or Mushy that want to start? Okay, yeah, no worries, yeah. No worries at all. There's, feel free to just chime in at any point, Basically, there is, when I talk about Kundalini, when I mention taking back your power, we're talking about orange, we're talking about that third chakra, and there's a big shift collectively, that's happening right now, and then also on the individual. So what we see right now at that individual level is people taking back their power, upgrading, and then before you know it, it happens on the collective level where before you know it, we have to draw that line in the sand and say, this is not acceptable, whether it's the racism, whether it's happening, environmentally, whether it's a vegan standpoint with the animals. I mean, we can go on and on. I'm just talking about the general basic energetic compound, that's going on behind the scenes. And that's exactly it. This upgrade of the third chakra, and you can feel it. It's a very creative thing. It's a very freeing, expanding thing when it happens to you. And you're just like, enough is enough. And this is the new me. And this is what I'm all about. And everybody else can just deal. That's the energy behind it. And I know, like I said, a lot of people that have experienced this exact shift as well. And this is probably one of the biggest ones. And I want to, just highlight it because that's usually where people are stuck is in between the first and second chakra. There's a lot of selfishness and a lot of ego. Just basically it's survival and procreation, sex, right? And then right back down to the first chakra. So that's what I'm talking about. Just swirling right there and not literally being able to go any higher than that. So that third chakra block is very important. And I like to just think about this, from the cosmic view, right? Like think about why it's set up that way. Why did the universe do it in that exact form, right? And it's because it's keeping you from that heart chakra. It's keeping you from the true love, right? Those people in the first two chakras, they're living in that programmed love. They're living in a conditional world, right? And that's the trap that I'm talking about. It's just that energy just circulating in the lower centers. And then when we talk about higher vibration or just kundalini and words like that, there's usually a shift in energy that goes beyond that into the third and higher up into the heart, throat chakra, and above. So that's what I see happening on a collective level right now, just as far as human, the race, just as far as mankind right now. So that's why I wanted to bring it up. And politically, environmentally, it's kind of in the news and more of on the mainstream as well. People are talking about it. So it doesn't have to be a personal, event that happened in your life. It could very much be something that is much greater than that on a grander level that we're all tapping into karmically on a very deep level and then purging it out to the surface. So then we can all balance and upgrade together. And it's a beautiful thing, right? You can think back in history and how many times this has happened, and it's going to continue to happen as long as the energy exchange continues. It's ever flowing, it's ever existing, it's never really stagnant at all. That's why it's beautiful, and this process is a daily practice. So it's just something like I said, I wanted somebody just to experience that. I know we're all experiencing on different levels, and if there's anything, like I said, that you wanted to share, please just chime in, and we can kind of take it from there.
I feel like a lot of people, it's like new to a lot of people, especially like the younger generations. Like it's quite a big thing, which is really nice to witness.
I agree. Yes, it is. It's fine. It's kind of been a long time coming for me. I've just been watching kind of behind the scenes for a while and planting little seeds of change. And now I think a lot of those have come to a fruit, and it's just beautiful watching it all happen.
It's really like blooming up now. It's really nice to watch that.
Awesome. Well, any particular story or anything, event that you have witnessed or anything that you wanted to share?
Not really. I feel like I'm quite like towards I'm at the start of my spiritual journey. Like I'm not really that far like into it, but I'm really like trying to learn and understand and grow more as a person now. But yeah, I don't really have any like specific stories, but I feel like I've done a lot of growth recently and all that. So yeah.
Awesome. Yes. I mean, the beginning, it's all about change and just opening up and accepting that change. A lot of the pain and the suffering that people are dealing with comes from the resistance. So you just have to stick with it and accept and always go back to that trust and that Zen, that inner peace that is within all of us, and cultivating that more and more every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. Anything in any questions or anything that you have towards the beginning of your path here that you wanted to ask?
I feel like I did have something, but I've completely forgotten now. But what was it? Is there anything you could do to like cleanse your home without using sage? Because I feel like right now I don't really have access to sage. I can't like order it online just yet. But is there anything like that you would suggest?
Yeah, definitely. It's any sort of incense will work. Sage is just very common for cleansing negative energy. Palo Santo wood is also very common, and it just comes down to what incense you have available, or even some pine, or maybe some trees that you have that you can just dry out and wrap up. The idea here is just to cleanse the energy with some sort of medium. So it doesn't really have to be sage. It's just any sort of medium that you have that's locally available to you is the best. So yeah, go to the little crystal store, little spiritual shop that's next to you maybe, or even little gas stations and stuff have incense and whatnot maybe. So that's where I would go and just get a little box of Nagchampa. That's one of my favorites. Or if you have access to a little bit more wilderness outside, doing a little foraging yourself, that would be cool too. Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's cool. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, so the general, message I just wanted to get across today was just the overall sense of taking back your power is the process that we are all undergoing, and that is again happening on the individual level and then the collective level, and cleansing on all energies, on all spaces, collectively in your home, your house, and then what's happening outside, with our cities, our neighborhoods. We have to create that change that we want to see right now. And on planet Earth, there's been a lot of repressed energy that is coming to the surface, and we are creating that new Earth right now. And it's beautiful. If you see the changes that have already happened, there is only going to be more as people continue to become more awake to this truth and start again drawing that boundary and just saying, what, this is what I accept and this is what I don't accept. And more people are just going to simply choose what's right for them. And you'll notice over the decades, how quickly prioritizing things, right? All your priorities change, from a collective. We used to collectively accept racism or poverty or things that, untreated water. There's a lot of things that are now coming to the surface that people understand. Something as simple as like fluoride in the water or the chemicals that are in the food or any sort of system problem that is caused by the system itself, right? That's kind of what's being brought to the surface, I think, in a grander scale. Obviously, I don't want to dig into one particular point. I'm just saying all of this has to be purged before we can experience the new heart-centered consciousness. And it's just it's happening right now as we speak. So whatever we can do to do our part, to speak up about this and to be the change, that's what we need to do right now more than ever.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Awesome, Mashi. Well, thank you so much for calling in and sharing your experiences and just asking the questions. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you for hosting this. It's really lovely to see all of this. But yeah, so thank you.
Yeah. Well, enjoy the rest of your day. Namaste.
You too. Bye.
Bye. So yeah, thank you again. Looks like we got Megan in Montana. Hello, Montana. Are you there? Mic check 1 2. Either way, if you want to chime in anytime, feel free to stop me. Like I said, we're just going through this big awakening right now on a collective level, and a lot of the questions that I've been getting have to deal with the third chakra and going through this both individually and then on a collective level, like we're seeing outside with the changes that are happening on all fronts. And we are literally recreating the new Earth and what we want to see right now. So it's very exciting. And I just wanted to have, a few people on. Feel free, Megan, if you wanted to share any experiences or a question that you might have, and we will go from there.
Sure, I think I have a pretty inspiring story for you.
Okay, great. Let's hear it.
So I, about 6 years ago, I was in a horrible place in my life, and I started taking yoga and doing Buddha classes and all sorts of empowerment seminars. And I then got an amazing offer, and I'm a professional fire performer, and I lead people on beds of coals. And for empowerment, I have all sorts of little tricks up my sleeve. And that's what kind of launched my journey, is once I found my grounding with walking on coals and walking on fire, which was like one full moon seminar a long time ago, that the conversation that I had with somebody just changed my whole world. And after that, I wanted to do that for somebody else. And I was fairly successful for a couple of years after that, just doing performances and teaching empowerment seminars. I was in a bad car accident, which helped me buy a house, and it's kind of living the normal dream. And then I hated it. I hated having to buy everything. I hated the insurances, all the things that came along with consuming way too much stuff. And I decided to go minimalist instead. So I sold all of my investments. I sold my 2 houses that I purchased. I sold the businesses that I was starting, and I bought a sailboat. And I've been traveling the world now for a year on my sailboat, still doing seminars, still, trying to anyways. We left Texas in March, and right before COVID became a pandemic, and we crossed the Gulf of Mexico, 8 days offshore. And then, And then when we arrived in Pensacola in Florida, I was ordering Domino's pizza, and it said touchless. I was like, what is that? What is going on? Because it was still in China when we left. So then the whole world was shutting down, and we decided if we were going to keep traveling or not. Unfortunately, all 37 gigs that I had booked for when we got to Florida, I had a stream of emails canceling them, and it was very defeating at first because it was a big chunk of my income. But then I realized that, this whole minimalist mentality and holding on to things with sentimental value and just knowing that you have to be in the now and in this moment. I can't hold on to the future events that I had, and I can't hold on to the past life that I had, and I just have to keep moving forward. And sailing has really shown me that, I guess, when going out, watching the sunset with like a 360 view of the sunset is just life-changing. It's very humble. You get to the water is, the earth's heartbeat. You can tell by the sky and the water how your day is going to be, if you're going to have a rough day at sea. I mean, there's apps for that too, to know what the wavelengths and the are. But when you're just out there and you feel that the wind is going to take you and that the water is there, the water is everything inside of us. Hey, this is my son.
Hey.
And my Instagram is Flow with Elements, because I do fire and wind and water and all of the things, and just it's shown me so much in this world. It makes me a better teacher for my son as well. He's about to be 6 years old.
Yeah, it's almost my birthday.
Yep.
And also on my birthday,
I'm
going to have access to all the Tappity apps.
No, don't worry, talk about that. We got sponsored on our channel by Tappity, which is an amazing science app for kids. And
awesome.
He loves So they're giving us a few years of subscription on our channel.
Cool. Very cool. Well, thank you for sharing. That's awesome. There's a lot of shifting happening in your life, and there's definitely, a point where we all know that there's, something greater beyond the horizon. You just can't really imagine it or picture it. And then the universe just totally comes in and provides something for you even greater than what you could imagine in the first place. So that's yes. Yes, exactly. Thank you. Yes, the ocean, I completely agree with everything you said, especially about the ocean. We just need to, need that cleanse, need that reset. And a lot of people have to have that in their routine, whatever that is, whatever you have access to locally, to really, create that practice within. So thanks again, Megan, for sharing. That was beautiful. Beautiful sailboat, beautiful story. Everything that you have is wonderful. Keep shining bright. You're doing amazing things. Awesome, Megan. Well, Montana, are you there, brother? Let's see if we can unmute your microphone real quick. I know you can. Can you hear me all right? Can you see me? Montana. Oh, okay. He's going to leave. Looks like he's going to come back. Yes, there's a beautiful transition, like I said, happening both on the individual and then that collective level. And that moment when you have that uncertainty, you can feel the shift going from your trusting human self back into emotions and reactivity. So it's just very important, like we talked about there with Megan, about how you can get in tune with your practice, whether it's the ocean, whether it's going for a walk in nature, whatever you have available to you. If you can't even get outside, going inside to take a bath and just relax, having that practice that really cleanses the slate. It's really important to do that. So we all just need that reminder sometimes. Montana, you there? Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, there we go, brother. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I was having some audio issues there. I had to exit and then come back in.
Yeah, no worries. You're there. Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah. What's on your mind? Anything that you want to share or a question that you might have?
Was there a topic of discussion?
Yeah, we were talking about just the general sense when it comes to Kundalini and taking back your power, the third chakra. There's a big transition happening right now. When I talk about Kundalini or just the Great Awakening in general, I think the major discussion is in between the shift in between the second and third chakra. A lot of people that have that, ego mind, fear mind, a lot of victim mentality, and that comes from just circulating in the first two chakras, where they go go from survival to procreation and sex, and then right back down to survival and just circulating through those lower chakras. And when we talk about high vibrations, when we talk about energy or kundalini and these types of words, it usually implies that, you go beyond activating the third chakra and up. So just any story that you might want to share or a question about that, because what I believe happening right now is we're all experiencing this on an individual level and then on a greater collective level with what we're seeing going on through our political times and through the environment and the changes that are all happening outside. Yes.
Right. Cool. Well, yeah, I've definitely noticed a lot more, I guess, universal coincidences happening. Because I'm only 20, but growing up, I was kind of a Christian household.
Yeah.
But that kind of wasn't really a huge fit for me. And then once I started recognizing the universe more and karma more, I noticed a lot more things happening, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Especially more like recently, like dreams have been a lot more vivid. Like time, I'm on military time, so I'm always seeing like 23:23 or like 11:11, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And also a big thing for me is that I've had a lot of like deja vu moments, and I've kind of been discovering that's like I'll have a dream like 3 years back that happens today, or like a dream that happened last week that was on the dot like 3 hours ago.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's any like explanation that you might have for that.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, you're spot on, brother. It's it's the synchronicities. That's a general statement, and then we can go deeper into that, like you mentioned with deja vu and other things. The vivid dreams. This is what I call lifting the veil. There is a penetration of your bubble of reality of the old ways, and now you've kind of gone through that, and you're experiencing this new earth, this new reality, and this will happen not only once, but many, many times as you continue to get through those layers, right? I like to use the analogy of an onion. There is an onion here, right? And we are that core, that center, that spiritual being in the middle, just shining so bright. And it's all of our conditioning and programming of what we thought was real are becoming those layers of the onion. And slowly through, what's called unschooling or deprogramming, you get through all of those layers, like you mentioned with getting into karma or just understanding these certain things that are beyond the square box of Christianity or whatever we got, brought up with in the beginning. So all of a sudden that box crumbles down and you just get opened up to this whole new universe, right? And it can be a little overwhelming. Things come online, start seeing synchronicities, angel numbers, all this is real. And what it's doing is it's just the universe and your higher self are guiding you to go deeper within. So those distractions in your life, those toxic habits, all these things that will, need to be addressed slowly as your willpower, becomes able to do so. And before you know it, you're this brand new person, and there's no judgment on how this happens. It's just, again, a matter of your willpower and how are you picking up to those signs, the synchronicities from the universe.
Mm-hmm, for sure. Yeah. And I'm sort of new to that whole community, I'd say.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to do my research and everything else. Would you have any like recommendations for like starting meditations or anything like that? Because the deepest that I've gone is just like when I'm falling asleep, like I'll turn off like my feet, if that like sounds familiar, and then I'll turn off my legs, and then I'll turn off my arms and everything like that.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if it's like my ego holding me back, but one time when that was happening, I started to feel myself like lift off of my bed. But then like 3 seconds later, I felt like these like long, cold fingers on my shoulder that pulled me back down. So I don't know if that's like my ego getting scared that I'm transcending, quote unquote, or if that's like something else entirely.
Yeah, no, this is great. So the answer is yes. We can just put different words to label the experiences. A lot of people like to use that word astral projection and different things. The word, when you say ego, I'm just going to go ahead and use the word mind for me, because I don't think it's necessarily like your ego, okay, that's doing that. It's more so just the mind itself, because that's where the fear comes from, okay? And anything that's new, right, we fear it. So you're going to have a new experience of that weightlessness, and your mind is going to click on and be like, nope, sorry, bro, that's not allowed right now. You know, so this is why it becomes a practice, right? That's why meditation is so important, because you do this willingly, and that's you telling the mind, hey, I'm doing this and you better be cool with it, because we're going to be chill and this is going to happen. All right. And then it's you controlling the mind, not the other way around. Right. And that's exactly what will happen over time, is the fear will start to drift away, because you'll become more familiar with these experiences, and it becomes more of a gradual process. I agree with you in the beginning. It's beautiful to do it while you're dreaming or just before bed. That's a great routine to get involved with. I have some guided meditations on my channel. Basically, just do it digitally first, especially if you don't have like a meditation group or just some sort of community thing that you can get involved with. Maybe there's a new energy park or something where people are getting together, maybe up on meetup.com. I know COVID's a little weird right now, so people might want to, doing a lot of things publicly. So you definitely use your digital resources. I'm just saying in the future, for me, it was a class. I actually took a class at the community college at first. So what I'm saying is, if you can, try to just be a part of something in person later on. Try to have that as your intention, because that'll really solidify your practice. So do it in at home. Do everything you're doing now, and then just slowly do more. And then before you know it, that group of spiritual people that are on that level will be attracted to you, and you'll be able to connect with them, and hopefully do it, just once a week at a park or something. That accountability and that level will really help you.
Awesome. Cool. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem, man.
I guess the only other thing that I'd like to say is that, I'm an artist for one, and it's something, I guess not really advice, but anyone out there that's like struggling with like motivation and everything, one thing that I learned that helped me was recognizing art and creativity not as something that like I hold in my hands and I control, but it's something that you're supposed to dance with. Like it's supposed to be a two-way relationship, not like a one-way relationship. And once I recognize that, my creativity has been a lot more fluent. It's been a lot more like on the dot, because I used to just do like one project and then it'd be a 6 months break and then another project. But now it's sort of like every day I'm going into practice with the art.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess that's
Beautiful.
my final words.
No, that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that with everybody watching and listening. That's beautiful. I completely agree. That energy, especially the creative energy through the right hemisphere, is coming through you, and it's not obtained for us. We're tapping in. We are multi-dimensional spiritual beings, and you're tapping into this energy somewhere else and bringing it through you and using it as that source of inspiration. And yes, I've been in those ruts too, creatively, and that's your ego, right? That's the mind itself. You see what I mean? So whatever practice you can have to escape the mind, to get out of it, because that's the creative outlet in the first place. And I think the frustration comes from being trapped in the mind all over again, So it's that daily practice. We all have to have it. It's not automatic. And unfortunately, it's because our current environment, does not dictate spirituality. It's not very creative. The houses we live in, the jobs, just the whole structure of the system, itself doesn't really condone spiritual practice of any sort. So that's why you just see it in temples or in strict groups, or they get labeled a cult or whatever, when really it's just, the mass consensus of what people are agreeing to and what they're not agreeing to. Awesome, Mateo. Well, thanks for joining, brother. Thanks for everything. Appreciate you sharing, and keep up everything you're doing, man. You're doing great things, and it's all happening, man. Thanks for being a part of this.
Yeah, thanks, man.
All right, everybody watching at home, thank you so much. This is awesome. I'm really getting the hang of this new style. I hope all of you are enjoying the new format right here on the show. Feel free to call in next time on the Patreon link. Again, this is going to be live. I'm going to post it about 30 minutes before I go live. It's going to be very spontaneous, okay? So I'm just going to make sure you're subscribing on YouTube. Make sure you're following me on Instagram and TikTok. I'm going to post the live video, and then I'm going to put the link on my Patreon page, okay? So So hopefully that's not too confusing. I think this is the best way to go about doing this. These videos are going to go live on YouTube, and they will be available to watch, and everybody will listen anywhere you download music. Thank you again for being here. If you want to take a little bit of extra time, just as a really pretty please, to go and just leave a review, that would be awesome. Wherever you're downloading or listening this, just leave a review real quick, throw a comment on YouTube. Let's get this more interactive. I want to hear what you think about this new style that I'm, creating, and I really want to hear what you think so we can continue to make more videos like this. So thank you all for being here. I love each and every one of you, and until next time, guys, I'm out. Peace.